the Portland Trailblazers years ago when they had Al-Farouq Aminu, Allen Crabbe, all those guys. They had all those guys, and they went to the conference finals, and we swept them pretty much without Steph Curry. They ran off and paid all of those guys because they thought they had a team that had a chance, and it was a fluke. And so that's what the Knicks are setting y'all up for right now, and it'll be probably another 15 years of misery that we all will sit around and laugh at Knicks fans with their delusion about.
Right, here we go.
If you're a Knicks fan, this isn't a trolling video. I'm going to get into a serious, in-depth conversation about what Draymond Green has just said. I completely understand where he's coming from. And as the video goes on, I'm going to give the Knicks some props as well. First, let's get into this team that he was talking about, the Portland Trailblazers team that they swept in 2019. Allen Crabbe, who Draymond Green mentioned, I didn't see him on this squad. He was on a roster a few years before this one. However, just looking at this one that I have in front of me, and his Freedom, good big man offensively. That's a decent role player to have, especially at that time. Same thing with Yusuf Nurkic, good rebounder, could provide offense. Those two guys not really known for defense. Aminu, who Draymond Green mentioned, he was on the squad. He was a defender. Of course, you got Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. Rodney Hood is another decent player as well, could play some defense, give you some buckets as well. But the overall point I think Draymond Green was saying is that investing in this core of this team was probably not going to go far anyways, because on paper they just didn't have a lot of talent that stood out to you outside of a CJ and a Dame. This is what he's saying about the New York Knicks. The only difference is when you have teams like that are based in New York, based in LA, those teams don't even have to be that great. All they have to be is at least decent, somewhat in the playoff run, and there will be so much media hype and popularity and attention on the what if and the potential, the idea of winning a title. This is why when Rick Carlisle said that small market teams need to get fair calls as well when it comes to the referees, and paraphrasing, but that's what he basically said. I definitely got the point he was making. It wasn't some total BS to me.
I remember we were about to play Game 7, 2012. So we were about to play the Celtics or whatever.
Game 7.
So I'm hyped as hell. I'm like, yeah, bro, we got a Game 7. Like, woo after bam. Like, this is going to be lit. So Eldon's like, you know we're going to have to win by 15 just to win by 1. So I'm like, what you mean? He's like, bro, this is the NBA. It's entertainment. Like, so we get in this game, you know how much money the NBA is going to lose. Like,
every team has media that tries their best to sell to their fan base that this is the best squad ever, even if it's not really so. The difference is you have teams that transcend local regions, and it brings in a lot more money for the NBA, especially when they have superstars. And yes, there could be bias and favoritism towards wanting those teams to win. That's why I played that clip for y'all. Now, let's actually look at this current Knicks team. At full health, I really do believe they're a good team, solid team. I don't know about championship and winning everything. However, making it to the conference finals, possibly, maybe having runs at it at full health, great team. And the fact that Jalen Brunson, I should say, did it without Julius Randle going down as the season was coming to an end, OG Anunoby being injured, holding this team afloat, getting them into the playoffs, then getting out of the first round, and now currently up 2-1 against the Indiana Pacers to get to the conference finals. That says a lot about this Knicks team and Tom Thibodeau, the way they play defense. I think that's the one thing Draymond should have said when comparing the Knicks team to the Portland Trailblazers. This Knicks team plays a lot more gritty and hard defense. I think the question is, who would you want offensively if you had a duo between Jalen Brunson and a Julius Randle and CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard? Another question I'm wondering is, since Julius Randle has missed so much time, how is he going to be integrated back into this team? I want to see how he works, because Jalen Brunson just looks like he's completely taken over and everyone has just fallen in line. But if the Knicks are not at full health and this is how their team is going to look moving forward, then I agree with Draymond even more. This is not going to go that far in my opinion. Currently, I'm watching the playoffs and I see for the Knicks, their big three is basically Jalen Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Josh Hart. Even if you want to throw OG in there in the mix, again, solid, great defender, obviously. I watched him a lot when he was on the Raptors. He's not a guy that is going to get you consistently 15, 20 points or closer to 20 points a game. He also is injury prone at times, and Tom Thibodeau loves playing his guys a lot of minutes. So that's another question to ask yourself as well. Obviously, this is me talking about the worst case scenario, and the injury bug just really hitting the Knicks hard. Moving forward, you still got Jalen Brunson, right? And that's what I want to focus on and actually give him props. Because as I was watching the regular season and saw how he was just going crazy on teams, I kept thinking to myself, I wonder how this is going to transcend into the playoffs. Because the difference between a star versus a superstar is you could have a player that looks amazing in the regular season, but then it looks a couple notches down in the playoffs. The game slows down, as they say. You have a team that is facing you at least 4 times. They are more familiar with your plays. They're studying you a lot more. You're not going to get into the free throw line as much, since the refs in the playoffs tend to let teams play a little bit more physical in comparison to the regular season. Despite all of this, Jalen Brunson has still been playing great. The biggest thing that I'm still wondering, though, is this a guy that could actually get you to the NBA Finals and win a championship if he's your number one scoring option? At this current moment, I don't think so. I would say no. I would lean towards no. We will see. But again, I think this is going to boil down to, are the Knicks going to be at full health? Will they get there? Mitchell Robinson is someone as well. I'm going to put his name somewhere in the video. If you've reached this far, salute to listening. Wasn't trying to troll Knicks fans or any other big market team fans out there. I was just trying to state my opinion and tie it together. Let me know what you think of the video. Peace.